It is the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, paperback writer Jack Nerad. Conrad has This Week in Auto History, and we'll get you updated on the stories making car news this week. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars, King Conrad DeLon. We need more Jeff Seekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Thanks so much for joining us on this Saturday live edition. Okay, are we all ready? For Paperback Writer. Paperback Writer. You're not joining in.
Paperback Writer.
Here he is.
Boy.
Look, hey,
I am not a Beatle.
Well, whatever. All we can do is look at Jack, and we see that little smirk on his face. So obviously he heard the fine quartet that we are.
Oh, gosh.
The Fab Four.
The Fab Four, that's us. Hi, Jack. How are you?
Hey, great to talk to you.
How do we sound on your end?
About the same. I think, just about the same.
Well, that's good. I mean, is that a good thing? I mean, do we
I
have?
think so.
Do you have enough volume? Are we distorted? I mean,
do you want us to sing another song?
Do we have our makeup on right?
No more distorted than usual. Okay,
well, there you go.
Are looking a little, distorted.
We're going to do Freebird next.
Yeah.
Okay, can't wait for that.
Distorted. Well, that's kind of our modus operandi. Jack, I had no clue that you, sir, are a novelist.
Well, I'm a writer, and I have been for a long, long time now. And this is really my first novel. I've written a lot of nonfiction books, and I've written some true crime books. And this is my first novel. It's a crime novel. It's called Dance in the Dark. And it's, building on what I learned from a lot of true crime. I did a true crime book called Fatal Photographs. It was about a murder case that was kind of associated with the car business, actually, and the auto journalism business. And so this is kind of a natural segue. I'm kind of excited about it. I think it's an exciting book, and it's a lot like a true crime book.
See, these things that we didn't know about you have all come out now, and now we know. Next thing you know, it's going to be you're going to be portrayed on television as the author of Dance in the Dark. I mean, I see big things happen.
You're going on Oprah next.
Yeah, I was thinking going on Oprah.
Yeah, they better happen fast. You're right, Don.
No, Jack, I mean, I was really, actually, honestly, really excited to see this. And I thought, wow, Jack, look what he's doing. But for you, it's nothing. It's just another little chink in the armor there, I guess.
Well, I'm excited about it. I mean, when you are a writer and you finally publish your first novel, that's an exciting thing, right? And there's a lot riding on that. I mean, you can write about stuff that happened, and that's one thing, and it takes some talent to do that.
So let me just read this. Jason Griffiths is the former rock and roll drummer turned computer programmer who's afraid someone's trying to kill him, but he doesn't know why. After living a quiet life for years, suddenly his girlfriend leaves him. He meets the most beautiful woman he's ever seen, and within days he's wanted for the murder of a drug cartel enforcer, a murder he didn't commit. Cops thinks he did it, so does the cartel. So he's stuck between them with nowhere to turn. Now the only person who might be able to help him is the new woman in his life. But is his stunning new companion an asset or an enemy? I love I'm going to buy the book, Jack.
Well,
I
can
am.
get you a copy, Don, but I hope a lot of people do buy the book. It's an exciting book. I don't think people will guess the ending. It's a suspense novel, kind of movie-like, I think, in a lot of ways. So I think people will enjoy it.
Listen, Hallmark needs all the help that they can get, and I'm going to propose to Hallmark that they pick up your novel and turn it into a movie.
And if they make a movie out of it, I suggest Mike be the cartel guy.
Yeah, Mars.
Oh, yeah, I got a sombrero I can wear.
Perfect casting. I like it.
Well, I do too, and you can buy it online.
So how long did it take you to write the book, Jack?
It's a good question. I kind of started it a long time ago, and then I picked it up again. And I'm a fairly facile writer. I write pretty quickly. I trained in daily newspapers, so I feel pretty confident about just getting something out. So not a whole long period of time. There was actually a news clip that I read that kind of spurred this thing. So it really is spurred by something that is
based on a real story?
Yeah, I mean, there's elements of it. It's one of those things where you see something in the news and you go, well, what if? What if this happened and this happened and this happened? What would be the best way to protect this kind of information? And I kind of went from there.
I've watched a lot of Perry Mason, so I could probably figure that out.
There you go. I did too. I mean, Saturday night, I think we sat and watched Perry Mason every night when I was a kid. So, guessing who the villain was or the murderer in that particular episode.
Well, those kind of things help. Yeah. Well, I'm thrilled, and it's a perfect time of the year. And for $14 on Amazon, Dance in the Dark could be a Christmas gift or several. And it's one that I'm looking forward to reading. And I'm really excited because I know the author.
Well, very good. That's very kind of you, Don. I appreciate
that. Yeah, you bet. Well, Jack, it's obviously it's a little bit different than what we usually talk about on this show because with you, it's about cars, and rightly so. You're a well-versed author when it comes to car reviews and what's going on in the car industry. And I just got through reading a story about Carvana, and I know that everybody thinks that I rag on the whole idea of Carvana, but, when they spend millions and millions of dollars on a damned vending machine to go get a car, it raises a red flag for me. I don't know about you. But then all of these other stories that we hear that they haven't, paid the states in which they operate to people to get their title. I mean, things are just too weird to me on this deal. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's kind of an interesting company, that's for certain. I mean, I don't know that people actually grasp that Carvana is really a used car dealer. It's a nationwide or widely spread used car dealer. In some ways, a competitor to CarMax more than anything else. And they have a particular marketing scheme, and it's a scheme makes it sound crooked. It's not that a particular marketing method. That's okay for some people. I always suggest that people do some comparison shopping. What's on Carvana might, check the price there, check it at CarMax, check a local dealer, check all the sources you can before you buy a car. So there's a billion different ways to buy a car these days. That's for certain.
Well, and the other story that we read in the last hour is that inventory is really beginning to come back to the dealerships, and car manufacturers are starting to turn out more and more cars. And for you and I that, we try to have our ear to the ground when it comes to, manufacturing and retailing new cars. That's pretty exciting because it's really been the doldrums here the past couple of years.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been very difficult. I mean, I talk to my friends at TrueCar a lot. And, they have their finger on the pulse of the industry, too. And they say in normal times or before COVID, the inventory on dealers' lots was about 3 million cars. And it got down in 2021 to be under 1 million. Wow. So when you knock down the inventory, what's that, 2/3 or something like that, that's going to have some big-time effects. And we're still feeling the effects now. Now inventory is back up maybe to 1.2 million, 1.5 million, something like that. As you say, Don, it's coming back, but it's still not where it was. And, when there's more inventory, it's a lot easier for consumers to buy cars and get better deals.
Yeah. But Jack, do you think they really want to, or they will get it back up to, say, that 3 million level?
It depends on who you're talking about. I mean, the car companies certainly want more inventory out there. The car manufacturers, the car dealers are doing pretty well in this kind of market, right? I mean, they're marking everything up beyond MSRP, not everything, but they're marking a lot of things up beyond MSRP. They have people coming in and buying vehicles right as they show up or before they show up, and then they call them when the vehicle arrives. So. They're not having to do the amount of marketing, advertising that they would normally do. I think car manufacturers are going to change that, though. We're going to see more production. we're going to see more supply in the marketplace, and I think we're going to see incentives again.
I will tell you that I have a friend of mine that works for National and Enterprise Rent-A-Car, and they are, for the first time in a couple of years, actually starting to trickle in some new car inventory in the rental car market.
Right.
And to me, that's kind of a sign that if they're starting to get them in the rental fleets, then they're certainly showing up on dealer lots. And the first ones to come to mind, Kia and Hyundai. And apparently they're doing quite a good job at cranking out as many as they can, and they actually have inventory on dealer lots.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. And, you know, the other side of the coin is a company like Honda. I mean, they've really suffered and their sales are way, way down. And it's not like there's anything wrong with their vehicles. They're just a great deal of difficulty dealing with supply chain issues. So like you say, Hyundai and Kia doing a good job, cranking out a lot of vehicles. And those are certainly vehicles to look at if you're buying one. But others are still suffering from this big time.
Do you think the Hyundai Kia thing is somewhat related to the chip manufacturing in Korea?
Well, I think
and their access to it?
Yeah, they have great access, right? I mean, they're such the dominant company in South Korea, Hyundai Corporation overall. So they have better access, I think, than some others to those important parts like chips.
What do you think about what's happening in the EV market? That seems to be all the rage these days. But I also read recently that inventory is up. And so that means to me that if you can go to a dealer and buy EVs now off the lot, that is the EV phenomenon kind of waning just a little bit in your eyes and estimation?
I think we're going to see fits and starts in EVs just like everything else. I think as there's more supply. I mean, there's several things mitigating against the spread of EVs, right? I mean, we're seeing interest rates go up, so they're already expensive to begin with. EVs are expensive to begin with versus a conventional car. And then you have the potential cost of an auto loan being even more, so that's an issue. Mm-hmm. You have fuel prices going down, maybe not to the level that they were in 2020, 2019, but fuel prices have been down. They've been down here in California, for example, and I think high fuel prices were spurring people. When gas was $7 a gallon here, a lot of people looked at EVs. With gas being now $4.50 a gallon, I mean, you guys probably scoff at that as being low, but that actually seems pretty good, and a lot versus what it's been. And a lot of people are going, well, I'm not sure an EV is right for me right now.
Well, not only that, I will tell you that passed a gas station just this morning early, and price of a gallon of gas at a name brand retailer, $2.52 a gallon here in the Houston area. I'm not trying to make you jealous or anything.
No, but I
exactly.
hit 241 yesterday at the HEB.
And the difference for cash versus credit card also, there's like a 10-cent difference.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's here in Texas where we make the gas. So,
But that
well, and
goes
happily you're still making the gas. I mean, that's the good thing.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
So where is your book available right now?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the first part of that.
Where is your book available today?
Amazon.
It's available on Amazon and at emlancy.com, which is the publishing company, emlancy.
So are you coming in the studio for a book signing? We would love to have you here.
I'd love to be there. I'd love to be with you guys. It would be a lot of fun. And, I'll make sure you get the copies of the book.
Do you ever come to Texas?
I do, but I come to Dallas and Fort Worth. I have a daughter who lives in Dallas, and I have another who lives in Fort Worth. They're both out of college. They both went to school in that area, and they love Texas. So, we get to Texas quite a bit, actually.
Well,
not to Houston, though.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, I think that what we could do is plan a date somewhere in the middle. I'm thinking San Antonio. We could party like no tomorrow.
On the Riverwalk.
On the Riverwalk.
Or Woodlands.
And we'll go ahead and get the sombreros and the tequila shots on the river. And we'll rent one of the boats just for us.
I'd love to do it. I'd love to sit in with you guys sometime. I think it would be a blast. I always have such fun when I'm talking to you, and it's the highlight of my week.
Yeah, I'll bet. I'll bet it is.
Liar. Particularly when it's 7:30 his time.
Maybe I have an empty life. I might admit that. But,
His new book's going to be Lies in Cars.
Lies in Cars. Jack, we love you, man, and we're really excited about your new book. I did want to touch on one other thing with cars. I know that last time we talked, we were working on the Car of the Year, and I know that you're on the board there of the Car of the Year awards. Has that where do we stand on that?
Well, we have named the finalists in North American Car of the Year, North American Utility of the Year, and North American Truck of the Year. So there are 3 contenders in each of those categories. And on January 11th, outside Detroit, I think we're actually going to do it in Pontiac, Michigan. We will be naming the Car of the Year, the Utility of the Year, and the Truck of the Year. So that's coming up. We're excited about it. We're in the final stages of judging, and then we do an election, basically. We have a balloting, a secret ballot that's audited by a big 8 accounting firm.
You can tell us.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, if I knew, I wouldn't tell you, but I don't know, so I can't tell you. And we haven't had the balloting yet, so we're a ways off.
How many people are involved in?
There are 50 jurors. 50 jurors.
Jurors, okay.
Jurors.
50.
We need to get on that.
And from what, all over the United States?
United States and Canada. I think we have 7 jurors, 7 or 8 from Canada.
That's fair.
How do you become a juror? How do you become a juror?
It's first you have to be probably in the industry for 15 or 20 years reviewing cars on a regular basis. And then there is a selection committee that when we have when somebody leaves the jury, and that happens every now and then, this committee puts in front of us, and I'm on the board, so I know kind of how it works. Some names of people who are logical candidates to become a juror.
Like a Don Armstrong.
That's what I was thinking.
Yes, exactly. Don Armstrong could very well be one.
Yeah. Let's put him on as a nominee.
A nominee. Okay, yeah. Well, let me know how do I find out when the next opening is? So I could vie for that.
It just kind of happens, right? I mean, some people resign. You're kind of on the jury until you're either you retire because you're not reviewing cars anymore,
or die,
or you pass away.
Jack will call you, Don. Just hold your breath.
All right, yeah. I'm going to hold my breath. But I got a feeling that it's not as easy as it sounds, because I've done some sort of industry kind of insider stuff, and it's like, wait a minute, this is way too much work.
Well, there's some work to it. There's some joy to it. You have to commit some time to it. It's an all-volunteer organization. We actually pay to be members of the jury. We don't get compensated for it. Some of our travel is compensated, but that's about it. So it does take an element of time, and I'm the vice president of the jury, so I guess it takes a little bit more of my time than it does for the typical juror.
The good news is you're on the jury. The bad news is you got to go to Detroit.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where he gets
a couple times a year.
Well, Jack, it's always great to talk to you. What is your website?
Several sites. I mean, Driving Today is a place to look for us. America on the Road is the radio show that I do, and America on the Road is on all the podcast channels, and it's out there. So please look for that. It's not as cool as your podcast, but we think we do it okay.
Oh my gosh! Well, you're too kind, but that's not the case at all, because I've watched America on the Road, and I thoroughly enjoy it, and I always thoroughly enjoy talking to you. Really excited about your new book, Dance in the Dark, available on Amazon, and I encourage.
I posted a link in Amazon.
I encourage everybody to consider it when you're buying your Christmas gifts this year. Jack, thank you. Thanks for getting up and talking to us this morning.
Well, thanks so much, and thanks for plugging my book a bit. I really do appreciate that.
Well,
I wish everybody happy holidays.
Well, and same to you. Merry Christmas, and be safe out there on New Year's.
Be a great Christmas gift.
Take care, Jack. Talk to you soon.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Cool.
I've always admired Jack Nerad.
That would make a great movie name.
Never met him in person, but I feel like he's a friend. You know, he's one of the guys.
He is one of us. Yes, he is. Very knowledgeable and somebody that, you can trust with his opinions on cars.
Now, have you met him in person?
I met him once in Detroit.
I don't think I have met him in person. I wanted to, but never have.
Yeah.
Oh.
His security team kept you away?
Again.
He's smiling. He's still on.
Exactly. Well, yeah.